Fine, Sai. Nice
Uh,
having you online.
Thank you, sir. I'm very delighted to have you in our Insta live session. Sir, kindly tell us what are the reasons why nowadays we are seeing increased incidence of renal calculi and uh, patients with renal disorders, which has not seen around 20, 30 years back. Now, what is the reason why we are seeing more
It is
number of
not
cases?
once. The incidence was definitely there previously also, but it is not
Sir,
a thing that we have discovered something new. Because of the advancements in technology, everybody undergoing, preventive health checkups, master health checkups, and also a change in our lifestyle, daily lifestyle of having junk food, lot of proteins, less of, you know, diet rich in fruits and vegetables, and our change in lifestyle, improper habits of having water in time. Previously, it was good hydration, good hard work, good amount of exposure to sun, good vitamin D. Those things are all changing. Probably change in there is no particular reason as such, but it is multifactorial. Change in the dietary habits, change in the lifestyle, and the availability of so many non-invasive methods of diagnosing stone disease. Like simple ultrasound can pick up stones. So more of the people are getting diagnosed with this kind of test, as well as the incidence has also increased because of these other factors.
sir, what do you think most important cause for renal calculi? Not having sufficient water?
One of the most important causes. There are few which have been corroborated to have the incidence of stone disease. Stones is
Okay.
not one particular reason. Like for example, there can be uric acid stones which can be corroborated or correlated with having protein rich or red meat rich diet, wherein uric acid stones are all formed. There are other reasons wherein patient can have a parathyroid adenoma, or there can be a renal disease where they develop more of calcium oxalate stones. A different variety of stones with different reasons for it. Few genetically determined reasons are there, wherein since childhood people develop stones. But majority of the stones don't have a particular reason because they develop in an adult life and they have spent 40 to 50 years of their life without any stones. But at
Okay.
that age they have developed because their body mass has gone up, and that has probably led to more of these excretory products being produced, which are forming saturated stones in the kidney and not being flushed out with adequate water.
Okay, sir. Sir, what do you think? Like, what can be, what steps we can take so that we can diagnose the patient with renal calculi earlier? Is there any,
One,
like,
yeah, one
if the
main thing
parents
is
have
this.
stones,
Exactly.
can
Yeah,
exactly,
yeah. Majority of the time, the stone disease runs in families. So, if you
sir.
have any of your family member who has already suffered with stone disease, better to have yourself evaluated. At least if you have crossed 40, 50 years and on a regular health checkup, having a regular blood parameters
Sir.
for renal function test and uric acid levels, and an ultrasound or an X-ray, which can pick up at an earlier stage, rather than having big stones which might hamper the renal function and get diagnosed at a later date.
Okay, sir. Sir, what are the most common type of stones you use? Sir? And what are the reasons for it?
Calcium, calcium
Calcium.
oxalate stones. Calcium oxalate stones are the most common one, but the basic misnomer, basic misconception is having calcium causes calcium stones.
That's
That is
what.
not. Yeah,
Me being orthopedic surgeon, many people, whenever we prescribe calcium tablets, next question, sir, if we advise to take it for 2 or 3 months, sir, will it cause calcium stones in the kidney? Because I read somewhere, because someone told me. How far is it
exactly.
true, sir?
No, it is not true at all. Rather, in fact, we advise them to take regular milk, regular calcium, and many conditions where osteoporotic people have developed stones. Not that they are osteopenic and they have less of calcium and they are not developing stones. There's nothing like that.
Okay. Sir, what
So
are the other
calcium per se,
reasons?
orally or in the form of your other fruits and vegetables and milk and all will not cause calcium stones in the kidney.
Okay, sir. Sir, what are the precautions or what are the things to be followed by a guy who's 9 to 4 desk job to avoid renal stones? Is a profession anything related to, anywhere related to renal calculi?
If not directly, but at least indirectly, because they are stuck to their desk most of the time without adequate water, and probably one of the other reason, indirect reason, is not going to the washroom or having a single washroom for many people and avoiding to going to the washroom and taking less water for that reason. That might be, one of the reason, but there is nothing that you take particular diet and you have stones or nothing like that.
Okay, sir. Okay,
Having
sir.
adequate water is what I suggest for all the software people who are attached to their desks all the time.
Okay, sir. Sir, how much? What do you think is like approximate? How many liters of water we should take?
If the person is not having any comorbidities and his renal functions are good, an adult who is weighing around 60-70 kgs can have around 3 to 4 liters of water normally in a day,
Okay, sir.
provided there is no underlying renal failure where they are supposed to take restricted water intake.
Okay, sir. Sir, one more thing. Many of the patients, whenever they go for a scan, whenever they find a renal calculi, the immediate question is whether they want to operate or they want to get it done with tablets. Everyone wants it to be done with water only or with tablets. Sir, how far is it true, or when you suggest surgery for a patient with stones?
Small stone which is there in the kidney, which we expect it to come out spontaneously, we tend to leave them.
Okay, sir.
Stones which can obstruct in the coming future or which tend to cause symptoms like pain, staying there, they might lead to infection if the patient is diabetic, if the patient is having other obstruction in the distal part. This stones needs to be treated. A very
Oh,
small stone, incidentally picked up on an ultrasound, small in the sense which can pass out in the urinary tract for up to 4 to 5 mm, which if not treated also, it might pass out. Those
oh,
fragments need not be treated. Suppose you have a stone which is already obstructing in the urinary tract with
okay, sir.
few more stones in the kidney, and you are operating on that kidney for this lower stone. So why not clear those stones which are already there in the kidney also? But per se, if you have a non-obstructive stone in the kidney, which is passable, which might pass out in the near future, we don't tend to treat it
Okay, sir.
surgically. Taking a lot of water or some form of alkalinizing agent we can expect it to come out spontaneously.
Okay, sir. Sir, how are the natural other methods how we can dissolve the stone? How far drinking water
Un-
helps?
Unless until we know what is the composition of the stone, we cannot tell what exactly will help in breaking the stones through your water and oral things.
Okay, sir. Sir, some
If,
people
if
will
for
have the
example, if for example,
misconception.
pardon, yeah,
Some
go
people
ahead.
have misconception of eating banana will help. Is it true?
No, whatever we eat goes into the GI tract. Nothing goes to the kidney directly. So
Yes, sir. Sir, one more thing
banana
talking
shouldn't help.
about. Okay.
Banana will definitely help in clearing the constipation rather than passing of the stones.
Yes, sir. So one more thing, what we are seeing nowadays is the increased incidence of patients with urine problems, like decreased flow or having repeated number of times. So what are the reasons for this? We are regularly seeing BPH, that
Yeah,
many articles coming out in paper and all. So what are the
in
reasons for
every
this?
every male has a prostate, which is a gland in the urinary tract before the urine comes out of the urinary bladder. So basically, this obstruction in passing of urine is seen in males who have crossed 40-50 years, and it attains its severity at the age of 60-70 years. The initial symptoms start in the 50-60 years and attains its severity in 70 years or 75 years. That is because of the gradual growth of this prostate gland, which is present in the urinary tract beyond the urinary bladder. So urinary bladder stores the urine. So from there, a person has to void or empty
Okay.
his bladder while he's passing urine. So this gland, because it is growing with the age, it obstructs the passage of this urine out of the urinary bladder.
Okay, sir.
So why do we have to have this prostate? That is because for its reproductive function.
Okay,
This
sir.
prostate has few secretions which are used for nourishing the sperms which come from the testis. So
Okay.
basically, it has a reproductive function, but not in any of the urinary excretory function.
Yes, sir.
But because with the age it grows, it obstructs the urinary tract. If it
Okay.
is initially managed conservatively by using some medications, which are generally in the form of alpha blockers, so that can relieve a bit of congestion and obstruction in the urinary tract, and patient can void freely, like how he was voiding before, if not completely. But after a few days of usage of a few months or few years, few people even manage till their end of life with the help of itself. But few people progress in spite of using this alpha blocker. Then we add a combination of drugs in the form of glutathioneide. Even then, few people again develop worsening of the symptoms or develop other issues along with it. Then they require surgery.
Okay. Okay. Sir, what are the precautions we can take to decrease the symptoms or to avoid this?
For prostate, there is nothing that we can take from our side and prevent it. It is a natural phenomena, like how we lose our hair on the head. All males have some type of baldness. We cannot
Okay.
avoid it; is going to come. Like
Okay.
how our beard and mustache become white, that is a process of aging. Our prostate also grows by age, and every male has to go through it. Few might
Okay.
not suffer the obstruction. Few might suffer it to a particular extent. Few might suffer to an extent that it requires surgery.
Okay. It is as comparable like a black hair turning into white hair. We cannot have control.
Exactly.
Okay.
No, we cannot control the growth of a prostate, and if that is there, then nobody would have gone through all this.
Yeah, true, sir. So coming to the prostate cancer, because one of our very known friend's father has got this. So what are the reasons for this, sir? Again, same BPH or any other?
No, BPH is benign prostatic hyperplasia. Benign thing doesn't generally turn to malignancy like how it happens in other dysplasias and malignancies. Here, it is in a different zone itself. Prostate has different zone. It's kind of an onion, kind of a round shaped organ in the urinary passage where the peripheral or the covering of it is the peripheral zone where the cancers happen.
Okay.
Whereas the benign part is the one that what you call the central part of it, which is a benign part, which grows with age. So the peripheral part is the one, or the covering part is the one which develops malignancy majority of the times. 80 to 90% of the cancers develop in the prostatic periphery, not in the center, which is the reason for BPH.
Okay. Okay.
So the prostate cancer again, you cannot pinpoint and say that this is the particular reason. They are multifactorial again. But as for any cancer, smoking, having high, red meat content, family history, all these things play a role. But again, it is not a one factor causing. That is so simple. Then we would have avoided prostate cancer altogether.
So coming to very important points, sir. Whenever we talk with the patient, if we tell avoid meat and all, they feel as if we are promoting vegetarian. So
True.
do you?
No,
So how do
meat
you
should not be
balance this?
avoided. Meat should not be avoided. There is a lot of difference having a portion, a proper portion of a calculated amount of non-red meat, and there is a lot of difference having, daily 3 times of red meat in their diet. There's a lot of difference in that, and
Okay.
having over a long period of time.
Okay.
So these are small things which will mount to a few of the urinary tract cancers. It's the same for renal cancer, same for prostatic cancer, same for bladder cancer.
Okay. So
If
smoking
for
has not.
example aniline, like for example aniline dye is people who work in dye industry, dye is known to cause bladder cancer, but that doesn't mean somebody goes in and has a visit to a dye industry once in a while doesn't develop bladder cancer. A
Yeah.
person who is working in this aniline dye industries for ages together, he has finished his service in the dye industry, he might develop bladder cancer. He might develop, not that he will develop. There is a lot of difference. So same holds for non-veg. If a person is taking day in and day out 3 times non-veg and been taking for ages together, is overweight, all these things might add to it, but not that once in a while you have a non-veg that doesn't cause anything.
Okay.
In fact, that is beneficial. Vitamin A, D, and K, which are all oil soluble and non-vegetarian sources of vitamins, are all lost if you don't have a non-vegetarian diet.
Yeah. Yeah. True, sir. Uh, so coming to the COVID and you are doing surgeries, how do you feel?
We per se in urology, other than having an acute bleed or an acute retention, there is no such an emergency where we go in and ahead and operate in a COVID positive patient. So we
Okay.
properly evaluate a case. Our patient should be in a deep sepsis where we need to do some intervention to revive the patient. Other than that, our subject doesn't require any emergency intervention for a COVID positive patient. We evaluate all the patients. Once they are over COVID negative by chest CT and by an RT-PCR, and they have a they have a surgical condition that we need to operate, we electively plan them.
Okay, sir. Sir, COVID for a renal transplant patient and all, they're getting too much affected and all.
Majority of the CKD patients with a chronic kidney disease, because
Okay.
they undergo dialysis, they have multiple visits to the hospital and their immunity is compromised. They tend to develop more of these lung issues, and the lung is already damaged because of the overload that they are having. Their kidneys don't excrete urine comfortably, so they are
Okay.
already in an overload state. So their lungs are more prone for it. Not that kidney transplant patients per se are more prone for this COVID or anything. It is all how much viral load you come in contact with, what is the exposure, whether you have been protected while you had a contact. All these things matter. A healthy person, you have seen so many people, young males, young females getting infected with COVID. That doesn't mean that they were not healthy or their immunity was not good or something like that. So it is all depends on viral load, how long you have been in contact with a positive patient, and how you got inoculated and your body's immunity, multifactorial.
Okay. Sir, thank you so much, sir, once again for joining us. I'm very,
Most
very
welcome.
happy, sir. Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Happy to be with you also.
And next time we'll talk with a different topic, sir. Maybe after 2, 3
Sure.
months, if you tell okay.
Sure.
Okay, sir.
Pleasure.
Thank you, sir.
Bye.
Yeah.